nervous around it?
No, I've just been recording myself drink tea for like the last 30 seconds because I felt nervous. Hello everyone, recording today from isolation in Sri Lanka. It's actually a lot cushier than it sounds. We're just waiting kind of to see what happens in the next 2 weeks about flights and what the situation is back home. And until then, we are camped out in southern Sri Lanka, which isn't the worst thing. While we have all this free time, I've been doing the plethora of live videos and filmed videos of yoga classes and workout classes. It's so cool, I think, that professionals are giving us access to these really great videos. Like, I have studios in South Africa that I was missing, studios back home in Rhode Island, and then I get to attend the classes now. But I mean, they're amazing classes. But while I was doing them, I was thinking about, like, me a year ago would not have really enjoyed the online classes because just didn't have the training or the knowledge about my body to really get the most out of what the classes are. Because when you think about it, we go in person to these classes to get the teacher's guidance, to hear their feedback. Oh, don't do that, you're going to injure yourself, breathe here, all this stuff. And when you're doing it at home with the video, it's great to have the video to tell you, oh, you can do this, but then it's hard to be like, oh, am I doing it right? All that kind of stuff. In my free time, since I have so much now, I'm going to be putting out 30 days of yoga for newbies. Not only going through asanas, which are the postures in yoga, but going through breath work, the positioning of your body, meditation, a couple of philosophies, not too many. Just to kind of give you that, like, whole scope of yoga. It's basically like a crash course of my teacher training. And I just feel like yoga is so good for you. You know, it's so good for the body, the mind, the soul. But when you do yoga with intention, and you're moving confidently, you just like know this is what I need to be doing, and you have total faith in yourself, that is like magic. Like, that is a cure to most things. You're gonna be feeling really good when you're doing yoga with intention. So yeah, this is what we're gonna be doing for the next 30 days, and you'll be able to see all the videos on YouTube. You can skip through if you don't want to learn about sun salutations or something. You can just go on through, select what works best for you. This is just kind of to have like a knowledge bank, give you that tool set to really take your own practice, whether it's your self-practice or you're doing videos throughout the isolation period, and really make the workout really work for you and get the most out of it. So now it's time to learn something, and today we're going to be talking about pranayama. Any traditional, like, full yoga practice usually includes asana, which is the postures that you go through in any like yoga class you would attend. Meditation, I think most people know what that is, but we are going to talk about it later. So if you don't worry, you'll know more in a couple of weeks or a couple of days. We'll see. And then the third lesson is pranayama. And we'll just start by breaking down the word. So pranayama is a Sanskrit word, as most things in yoga, like those crazy words that you hear are. And so you have prana and you have ayama. Prana means life force, energy, vitality, and ayama means to lengthen or to stretch. So when you have pranayama, the whole phrase or the whole word is saying the extension of the life force. Let me explain this a little bit further. Our modern view of what pranayama is, what you'll often learn in teacher training or something like that, is that pranayama is the practice of breath control to change the different energies in our body. There's basically a belief that we pull energy from our prana and our mind. And in science, actually, it would be considered the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system that these lines, like there's drawings of the prana lines and the mind lines that match up to the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system. So there is a little bit of science behind it. We also find that when we breathe, when we're just normal breathing, we have the front of our brain and the posterior of our brain. The posterior of our brain is all the things that we just evolved with naturally, and then the front is where our consciousness lies. And we find that when we're breathing, I don't know what those brain maps are called, but in science when they have all the different colors and they hook people up to the things, and when people are just normally breathing, blah blah blah, the light goes off in the back of the brain. And then they find when people start breathing with intention and they're aware of their breath, the light instead goes off in the front of their brain. So it's just cool to have science and yoga working together, I think, rather than conflicting. So basically that is our understanding of pranayama in today's world. Then we also have Patanjali. He's like the yogi guy, he's a very famous guy. I honestly have to look it up whether he is the first yogi or not. I think not, but I'll check in and we'll sort that out. But anyways, he is the dude of yoga. What he said is that the breath and mind are deeply connected. What you do to one always will affect the other, and therefore rhythmic breathing is the key to inner peace. Traditional yogis say that we do this because once you've mastered your pranayama, your body is completely free of all diseases, mentally and physically. That's from Iyengar, just another big yoga guy. You can look them up. I don't feel like the names are so important. I mean, they're important guys, but for right now, what we're trying to do here with our beginner yoga understanding, we don't need to memorize all the names and the dates. It's just, come on. But yeah, so I don't know, in my experience, I haven't been cleared of diseases, but I didn't have diseases to start, so that's kind of hard to talk about personally. But what I have noticed is when I introduce pranayama to my regular physical asana practice, again, that's just when you're going through your classic poses, there's just such a difference in the practice. You just feel so much more present. You feel with your body, and when you're doing the pose and everything, even if you're not one of those people that does yoga for the spiritual or mental benefits, just your physical body while you're doing controlled breathing is it's crazy. The difference is so crazy. I feel you can always get so much further in poses, especially twists are so good when you introduce pranayama and you inhale and you get a little bit longer and you exhale with your controlled breath and you twist deeper into it. You can just go so much further in your physical practice when you introduce pranayama. So we know we're doing breath control, but what exactly does this mean? What are we controlling? We have only a couple parts of our body are actually active in pranayama. It's our lungs, our nostrils, our nasal passage, diaphragm, and our windpipe. And then when we're doing the breath, there are 3 parts to the breath. So that's going to be emptying out the lungs, exhale, filling up the lungs, inhale, and holding the breath, which is your retention. And the retention can either be you just inhaled and you're full of air and you're holding that, or you just exhaled and you're totally empty and you're holding that emptiness. And as we do things, so you can do your inhale, exhale, retention, and be aware that you're doing it, but then the kind of like second layer that we want to put on top to really be like focusing on what's going on with the breath is we empty our lungs. I don't need to do that. We empty our lungs, and as we're emptying our lungs, we're getting rid of like assumptions of what we are, what this practice is, anything, like just shaking off the bad vibes basically. And as we inhale, we think I am, and you step into like I am strong, I am capable, just whatever you feel like you are. Just kind of realizing it, I don't know, just really stepping into what that is. And then retentions, the way that we're mindful with that one is that we just kind of like stay with our decisions. We confidently stay with our decisions. So you're like, yeah, I am that. And like, yeah, I don't need that. I really wanted to memorize this by heart, but it's just not happening. So I'm going to read you a little quote it's from Iyengar's book actually, but it is a quote by Kariba Eken. He is a 17th century mystic. I don't know what that means, just he has some nice things to say though, so we're gonna hear that. And he says, if you would foster a calm spirit, first regulate your breathing. For when that is under control, the heart will be at peace. But when breathing is spasmodic, then it will be troubled. Therefore, before attempting anything, first regulate your breathing, on which your temper will be softened, your spirit calmed. I feel like that totally makes sense, like, just like when you're all stressed out and freaking out, everyone always says, like, take a deep breath, and it's so true, like, just taking a moment to step back and come to your breath, it just brings us to, like, such presence and such awareness in our body that you can't, like, make any rash decisions almost when you take that moment to just, like, breathe and feel it out. And I feel like that's why I started with the pranayama lesson today. I feel like now is a great time to be like, just take a breath. We don't need to like say anything right now. We don't need to put anything out on the internet. There's like, just take a breath, let's slow it down, and let's like be with ourselves in our body. Next video is going to be teaching you a pranayama technique, and I think that's it for this one. So have a wonderful day.